This is the Eternal Frontier question review. I'm going to go through the questions and give the answers. After viewing this video and correcting your answers, what you need to do then is you need to write out a sentence, with your answer change explaining why, the correct answer. So we'll start with number one. Why does Louis L'Amour refer to the moon and planets as mere stepping stones? He refers to them as mere stepping stones because they will teach us what we need to know to reach outer space. And so what I would like you to do whenever you write your sentence for that answer is I'd like you to tell me what page and paragraph number in the book that he actually talks about mere stepping stones at. And so that lets me know you kind of did a little research on your own to figure that answer out. And so if you have that on your answer, and I'm telling you this through video because I just don't want you writing answers down without watching the video, that's what I'll be looking for, is that you'll tell me kind of the page number where that's referred to, maybe the page and the paragraph number where they talk about mere stepping stones. So you can go back and read that and you can figure that out a little bit better. But the answer was D. Number two, why does Louis L'Amour think we can move into space quickly? Why does he think we can move into space quickly? Well, he actually discusses how much rapid progress we have made in the past. He talks about in the last 70 years everything that we have made progress-wise. So in your answer, you might just mention, Louis L'Amour mentions all the rapid progress in the past, and then mention the part about in the last 70 years, and that'll get you that point. Oops. Okay, on to number three, after I kind of messed that up. In the Eternal Frontier, Louis L'Amour mentions cars, television, and flight. To show that answer should have been A, human beings can rapidly progress toward exploration of space. And that kind of goes along with question number two a little bit. Number four, which of these statements from the Eternal Frontier is a fact? And all you have to do is write down which one is a fact and say it's a fact because it can be proven. And that answer, and I don't think a lot of people missed this one, was A. In 1900, there were 144 miles of surface road in the United States. According to Louis L'Amour, we need leaders who will show society what the future might be. And again, I would like you to put the page number and paragraph number where they talk about those leaders, okay, where Louis L'Amour talks about those leaders, and let me know where you found that information at. Number six, whom does Louis L'Amour refer to as the naysayers in The Last Frontier? Those naysayers are going to be the people who do not believe we should explore outer space. They're naysayers because Louis L'Amour believes we should explore outer space, and they don't. Number seven, according to the Eternal Frontier, what role has history played in humanity's movement toward the goal of exploring space? That answer was also B. It shows that humankind has always sought the frontier. And you can make a reference. What I would like you to do there is I'd like you to make a reference to the text, where he talks about humankind has always sought the frontier. I'm thinking about, towards the beginning, and he talks about, where would we be if we were still just cavemen and things like that. So think about that whenever you write out your explanation. Okay, on to number eight. Which of these statements from the Eternal Frontier is an opinion? Now remember, an opinion can't really is on like a fact. You can't go look it up somewhere to be true. Your opinion here is mankind is not bound by its atmosphere, envelope, or by its gravitational field, nor is the mind of mankind bound by any limits at all. For these opinion questions, you can just say it's an opinion because it's someone's thoughts. Okay, you don't have to go in the book and prove how it's an opinion or anything like that. Same as number nine here. Which of these statements from the Eternal Frontier is a fact? That answer was C. We landed men on the moon. We sent a vehicle beyond the limits of the solar system. Number 10, which of the following statements relating to the Eternal Frontier appeals to reason? Now, if you remember in class, I talked about how you can appeal to authority, you can appeal to emotion, and you can appeal to reason. Those were kind of the three appeals that you can make. And some people, they like to hear that it's an appeal to authority because they say, hey, someone else higher than me, someone above me, like the law says I have to do this. Some people want to hear those appeals to emotion. They might be emotional people, and they like to hear those emotional words, okay? Appeal to reason, though, is more like appealing to logic. What logically makes sense? Okay, so for number 10, what made logically the most sense is that the space industry has been beneficial in giving impetus to much new technology. Okay, that's one that appeals to reason, because that's basically telling you, well, it's given us new technology. Why don't we continue to explore it so we can have more, more than new technology? So again, in your answer, just phrase that in a sentence the right way. Number 11, which of these statements from the Eternal Frontier reveals that the essay is intended to persuade? Okay, so we're looking for persuasion. It is our destiny to move out, to accept the challenge, to dare the unknown. Why is that persuasion? That word destiny, we talked about that in class, that word destiny, it means emotion. Okay, whenever you use destiny, you're talking about emotion. So they're appealing to emotion. That means they're using a persuasive technique. Okay, so put your answer in that form. Number 12 then also talks about emotion. Which of these statements from the Eternal Frontier appeals to emotion? That is going to be, if we are content to live in the past, we have no future. And that appeals to emotion because it's telling you, you have no future. So if you're satisfied with the way things are, then you have no future. Now, what's left is the vocabulary and grammar. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you the answers. But, and I just did this again with my screen, what I need you to do is I need you to go through, then go in your book. It has the vocabulary and grammar sections in your book. And then you need to make sure that you're explaining why the answer is what it is. Like, for example, this first one's vocabulary. In The Last Frontier, what does Lamar mean when he says that the space effort gave great impetus to the development of computing devices? And so that answer was A, because it was a driving force in the development of computers. So you'd want to do that, then you want to go ahead and explain what impetus means too, and how that kind of connects, with the vocabulary word and what Lamar was saying. 14, when Lamar writes that all has gone before was preliminary, he means that everything that has gone before the exploration of space, and that answer was C, has led to the main event. And again, you would just explain that. Which word in this sentence from the Eternal Frontier is the simple subject? There's a section about simple subject, complete subject right there with Eternal Frontier and all together now, so you need to go to that little section, read again about simple subject, complete subject, and then not only give the answer, which in this case is B, age, but then explain why that's the answer, why that's just the simple subject compared to, the complete subject. 16, what is the simple subject of this sentence from the Eternal Frontier? A few years ago, we moved into space. That answer is going to be C, we. And finally, number 17, what is the complete predicate in this sentence based on the Eternal Frontier? Your complete predicate in this is going to be C, have been incorporated. Now this has into our day-to-day life. That is actually not on your version of the test, have been incorporated into our day-to-day life, but the complete predicate would be, and you know what, as I'm looking at this again, actually on your version it asks what is the simple predicate, so we'll kind of cancel that out. However, the simple predicate is still have been incorporated. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and tell you this, because have and been both count as helping verbs, and then incorporated is the actual action verb. But that's a verb phrase, and that would still be considered the simple predicate. Okay, those would all go into that simple predicate part. Okay, so that's why 17 is C. There's a little bit of a variation there between what's on here and what printed out. I'm not really sure why that changed, but that would be C. Okay, and that's it for the review. If you missed questions on the essay points, you'll probably notice that you didn't put some details in. You didn't answer every part of the question, so we're going to make sure you go back through and do that. And then that will, you can turn that into me in the next week or so.